many organizations. So if abc.com gets hacked, it means that attacker will use abc.com servers to send emails to all the other companies, all the clients. They will think it's coming from abc.com, which is their trusted partner, and they will open it, they will click it, and they will do whatever is required, because they are thinking it's coming from that company. So in such cases, the abc.com responsibility is to, first of all, protect itself. Secondly, it should inform all its clients immediately if something goes wrong. We have seen this happening in many parts of the world. So since there is in the same example, if it's coming from a trusted organization, then everybody will click, everybody will say, oh, maybe it's about that project, maybe it's about this project, let's open, what is this? And they will open it and they will work on it. Example for the email spoofing. If you just do a Google search on online email spoofing, you will see many URLs. One of them is MK. Okay, if you see here, this is a test. Now, if you look at what this is, I just put from the president and I sent to Gmail, and Gmail accepted it. Now here, if you see this question mark, here Gmail give you a warning that I wasn't able to verify most of it. I was not able to verify.
Welcome to Global Information Security Society for Professionals of Pakistan.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we will start our second lesson. First of all, very sorry for the delay because there was a gap of like more than 2 or 3 weeks between the first and second lesson. So there's no excuse for that, but I was busy and with some other things. Anyways, we'll start now, and we'll today we will not go in more formalities, and we'll just start right away. The agenda for today is email attack types. The email attack types are email relaying, email spam, malware, ransomware, spoofing, phishing, spear phishing. They will come in details in the next slide, so I will just skip this one. Email impersonation, and DOS and DDoS attacks. Okay, my assumptions. If you are watching at this session, my assumptions are that you already have some basic knowledge about SMTP protocol. You have basic knowledge on how email works. You have a basic knowledge of SMTP error codes. You have some basic knowledge about SMTP DNS records like MS record and SPF and DMARC. And you have a basic knowledge about email troubleshooting. Okay, just in case if you have no idea about any of these, check the video description to see our first lesson on this one. Also look at the top right corner, and I will put a card here so you can see, you can click on that card and see our first session. Email attack types. Email attack types. One is email relaying. Then we have spam, which is also called unwanted emails, also called marketing emails and newsletters. Marketing emails, we cannot say spam, but yes, somebody's marketing might be spam for me. Like for example, a company selling drugs like Viagra, Cialis. Okay, if it might be spam for me, but might be useful for somebody else. It again depends on from which angle you are looking at. So the best term is for spam is called unwanted emails is better. Okay, then we have malwares, viruses, worms, trojans, spyware, ransomware, anything like that. Then spoofing, where people sending you email from spoof domains. Phishing, spear phishing, spoofing, phishing, spear phishing, they all are almost the same thing. And we will discuss that in detail. Then impersonation, where other people send email on your behalf by impersonating you. DOS and DDoS. DOS means denial of service. DDoS means distributed denial of service. Email relaying. So email relaying means sending emails to an SMTP server. Okay, this is very normal. Everybody sends email like that, but it becomes an attack if an attacker uses your SMTP server and to send email, to relay emails to some other domain without your knowledge. For example, you have a server which is mydomain.com. If somebody connects to your server and sends email to xyz.com from his domain, not from your domain, so he's using your server to relay. Now this used to be a very common attack. It was not even an attack. It was like people trying to use free services. So they were doing this a lot. So it was we can say now we can call it as an attack, but in those days, like 10-15 years ago, it was not an attack, but it was like a misconfiguration where people were actually getting benefit of your services and sending emails for free without having their own servers. So also some people that were having their own small email servers where they were bypassing the company servers and sending email through that. So most of the servers these days, they have already this is a very common thing now. So all the servers, most email gateways, they are configured and well protected by default. Okay, now let's have an example. You can go to mxtoolbox.com and do mx lookup for any domain like gmail.com. Okay, click on SMTP test. MX Toolbox will try to test the server and give you some kind of report, like this kind of report. So it will say if you look at the item from the bottom, second item, SMTP open relay. So it says yes, not an open relay. Now how it will know that? Well, because when we click on the SMTP test, it tries to do all these tests. First of all, I can show this also, but I will not, because you can follow the instructions, very simple. And plus we also did this in our first lesson. So you can also go there and check this one. It's something like some practice like this will be very helpful for you. Let's go to the next slide and see what actually MX Toolbox tried to do. So it connected. Okay, it got the green one is coming from the Google server. It's the banner is coming. And MX Toolbox say perform the command hello. Okay, then Google replied, yes, I am at your service, and also I also support these commands. So this is the size I support. This is the 8-bit MIME support. I also support TLS. I also have enhanced status codes. I also support pipelining and chunking, and also support SMTP UTF-8. All of this. Some of this is easy to understand. Some of this you may have to do some more study about this. Size means like, okay, any email bigger than this size will not be accepted. 8-bit MIME is a character support. TLS means the service supports TLS. And you can also check out other items. Then MX Toolbox try to send an email. He says, okay, I'm sending now, and the server accepted Google. Now, next in the recipient too. If MX Toolbox put somebody at gmail.com, it would have gone through very easily, because Gmail was expecting any email for gmail.com. But it tried to send an email to somebody at MX Toolbox SMTP diag. Now, Gmail doesn't support that. It will not receive email for some other domain. So it simply says the email account that you try to reach does not exist. Please try double checking the recipient email address. So actually it is being very nice. Otherwise, it could have been very blunt and say, get the hell out of here. I'm not a relay server. But being nice, it just says, okay, whatever you are trying to reach, it doesn't exist here. So I hope it is very clear now. Prevention. You can configure your email server gateway to receive incoming emails only for your domain. Okay, just like this, Gmail only accept email for gmail.com, nothing else. Actually, they do accept, but when they are acting as an ISP, so as a ISP, they do provide email services for other companies. Okay, for outbound emails, you have only allow authorized IP addresses to relay emails. In every email server or email gateway, there's an option where you can say only these IP addresses can connect to me and send email outside. It's very simple configuration option. You can easily find it. Port 25 access. Like for example, if you are having a firewall between your servers and workstations, and so make sure that the clients should not have access on port 25 to the email gateways, because they don't need to. Okay, some in the previous like many years ago, when people were not that not familiar and they didn't have firewalls and all those kind of controls. So it used to happen that one email, like one machine get infected, and it uses the corporate email server to send email outside, and the corporate email server was also not well configured. So, it will let the email go through. And some cases, the emails will be generated from the Outlook, and from then it will use in the standard Exchange server and to go out in the wild to anybody else. So they were very interesting days. Now, most of these things are already controlled. They can be controlled by the desktop firewall or the corporate firewall. So I hope it is clear. Second is email spam. Actually, for email relay, there's not much, but you can still do more Google. But the idea of this presentation is just to give you some idea so you can dig deeper if you need more. Email spam. Any kind of promotional, unwanted email, marketing email is considered as spam. Most common example is drug-related spam like Viagra, Cialis, and then there will be other kind of emails also. So I did not put in samples here because I think everybody is very familiar with the idea of spam, and its spam differs from person to person. Now, every organization, they receives and block hundreds of spams every day. For example, if you do not block spam, a normal user, he may get like 1,500 emails or 200 emails in his mailbox every day, and he will not be able to even go through all of them. So it's like once blocking the spam at the email gateway level it is saving a lot of time, a lot of storage, and a lot of efforts from the end user. Otherwise, the end user has to report all the spam, delete, and he can't even work. Okay, why do people get spam? Now this is some common mistakes by people. Some people do not differentiate between a corporate account and a public account, and sometimes they use their corporate accounts on different websites, for subscriptions, for other things. And those websites, sometimes they sell their email addresses, or they get hacked and the email addresses are stolen, and then they reach spammers, and the spammers start targeting them, those email addresses. Now, this situation, it can get very ugly and very soon. Sometimes we have seen cases where somebody was getting like hundreds of emails like this, and eventually the only solution he had was to change his email address. So we have seen the situations. So always educate people. Do not use the corporate email address on any public website or any website which has nothing to do with the business. They had to use their own Gmail and Hotmail or Yahoo or whatever they want to. So Gmail will handle its own spam, Yahoo will handle its own incoming spam, and better. Emails with too much graphics or short URL. Some people, they put signatures, and some people put locations in this email. They use some marketing campaigns, like many companies, like account people who are dealing with the sales activities, and they want to promote new products. They sometimes put URLs in the signatures, so that when email goes to any customer, they will know about this product also. But it's not a good habit, because most of the email gateways, they will think this as a malicious URL or a suspicious URL, or it will just take it as a spam. I have seen this many times. So emails with too much graphics, too much images, like marketing material, or with the short URLs, they also classified as spam by many email gateways. Tips. Always keep looking for false positives, as some good emails are also marked as spam and spam. So what you can do in such cases, you can whitelist those domains. Always keep looking, what you are getting under spam. Okay. And in some organizations, you can even allow the user to delete emails from spam. It depends on if the email gateway supports. Like in my case, semantic messaging gateway gives you an option where you can inform the user this is the email which came to you and which is classified as spam. And the user has the option, he can release it or he can ignore it. I also suggest that any emails from Google groups, before they used to be Yahoo groups also, but it's not no more, not available anymore. But any mailing list, you can also block them. You don't want, because so that is really a good way to discourage people to use corporate account for mailing lists. So with there's not much on spam here, let's go to the next one. Email malware, ransomware. This is a very, very important topic, and actually, no matter how much I talk about it, I may not be able to cover everything. So you still have to go and do maybe study different articles to understand more about this one, because this is the very common way of attacks. Mostly what happens, the attackers, they send you executable files over the email, or they send you links in the email bodies, and they give you subjects like, it depends on the hot topics going on these days. Sometimes they will say this is the latest Kim Kardashian video. Sometimes they will say this is the latest, like for example, when GDPR was there, you can say, oh, here's some new rules in GDPR. Just click here on the link to see the video, or they will say you have 100 million or $1 million, and please click on the link, claim your prize. Or this company Walmart is giving like free iPhones. Please click on the link below to register. It happens, and even the simplest one will be like, oh, okay, Domino's or Pizza Hut is offering free pizza. So just click below and register and get your free pizza. I mean, the pizza will be very like people will be very interested to immediately get that pizza and just click on the link, but they don't realize that once the moment they click, some files are downloaded to their machine and the machine gets infected, and then the hell breaks loose. Sometimes they change the executables into doc or XLS or something benign, so it looks to or a text file. Even I have seen, very interestingly, I will tell you, like some vendors, some companies who do not have a proper FTP servers or a secure web servers, when they want to send some software exe files to their client, they do this. They think that if they make it a doc or XLS or the zip, the email gateway will be able to not check it and it will pass through. So it's very interesting situation, and when the such emails are mostly blocked, and then they request, please release this, we need these files for the work and all that. And some attackers and spammers, they also they send you Word documents or Excel. Mostly it is doc and XLS, and they put hidden malicious macros in it. So when you open the Excel, the macro executes in the background, and then your machine gets infected. Now, keep in mind, if the macro, macro is just like, depends again on sometimes you think maybe the antivirus will stop it, but not necessary. Antivirus, if antivirus doesn't know about those signatures, or if it is new, it might pass through immediately. I've seen this happening. So always think twice before clicking on any link, especially if you're not expecting such email. For example, if I did not register a green card lottery, and if I get an email like that, I will say, no, this is I never registered, so I will not accept it. I will not be clicking on that. If somebody says, okay, you have that, you bought a lottery ticket and you got a $1 million lottery. I know I did not buy one, so why will I click on that link? So you have to be very careful, and you have to be very smart. In some organizations, if you mistakenly click on malicious URLs and you get the organization infected, you can be in big trouble. So always save yourself. Prevention. Just see, this is just an overview session, so we'll just give some quick tips, and maybe in the next more session we will talk more about this one, inshallah. Depends on the feedback and all that. Anyways, prevention. Always block executables. Make a simple rule. Do not know exes should be allowed ever. Okay. Now, in some cases, the attacker will change the exe to doc or XLS or something like this. Okay. Now, most cases it will not go through, and also if your email gateway supports, okay, I think I am just skipping ahead. Anyways, I'll mention this one. I'll just keep this point in mind. Now, secondly, in some email gateway, this supports, so as I mentioned, some XLS or doc may have macros also. So if your email gateway supports, you can remove macros or any codes from those incoming PDF or Word or Excel files. I'm familiar with semantic messaging gateway. I've also worked on Iron Mail and other products. At that time, I didn't know maybe it was not there, but it was many years ago. But most of them, I think they will all give you an option now. So in the SMG, it is called disarm. In the disarm, what they do, they can remove all kind of code from the files. So even when I did a test, I put I found a code for the clock, and I put it in the PDF. I sent, and when the PDF came to me, the clock was removed from the PDF. So similarly, the macros will be removed. There might be one or two users complaining to you saying, they are supposed to get macros from outside, it's not working. In such cases, you can make an exception for them for a specific sender, because they will be a trusted sender. So, but very few cases like that. Now, back to our thing about the EXEs renaming to doc or XLS. Now, some email gateways, I believe all of them will be like this now. They can detect on true file type. True file type means even if you rename from an exe to doc or XLS, it will still be able to check and find that no, this is an actual exe. So it will still block it. So always look that whatever email gateway you have, does it support true file type or not? You can do a small test, as I mentioned, a small exe send like this and that. I remember a couple of years ago, I was even able to rename an exe and make it as a word and send it through Gmail. But it's not happening anymore because now Gmail, I think they have improved the system. So they're checking it. Even if you put an exe in a zip file, it will still not go through. So, but yes, if you put exe in a zip with password, it might go through. Again depends on what kind of controls they're using. Okay, now emails, there might be emails with URLs. It's quite possible that they can skip through if the email gateways doesn't check all the URLs, you know. Most email gateways do, but yeah, it just depends again that it may not be able to check it may be able to check the URL, but it may not be able to download the content and then, you know, check the content. So in such case, you have to have one more layer of sandboxing. It's available. Like FireEye, Trend Micro, DDEI, Trend FireEye, they are examples of this sandboxing. Okay, now for this same thing, user awareness is very, very important. And the user has to think twice, multiple times before clicking on a link, especially if he's not expecting any such email, as we mentioned again before. Email spoofing and phishing. This is a very interesting topic. Spammer sends an email that has been manipulated to seem as it is originated from a trusted source. Like, for example, you are getting an email from Facebook.com, but it's not actually from Facebook.com. Or you are getting an email from LinkedIn, or you are getting an email from your partner organization, but it's not actually from them. You know, it happens many times in eBay, Amazon. Many companies, you know, there's a lot of fake emails going out on the internet to different people coming, and the things coming from them, even PayPal. To put it simply, people are sending you email from bad domain, but it appears to you as good domain. Because just think you're getting an email from ebay.com, or you are getting an email from PayPal and it says, oh, your account has a problem, please click here to fix your problem. And you click and actually you are actually giving away your credentials to them. Spoof email, it can be used to get the user click on a link. And so the idea is, you know, just to trick you to do something which you don't want to. There's a very interesting use case, like I have seen this happening, like an email coming from a CEO to a CFO and mentioning that, okay, I'm in Dubai and I have some issue. They sent me like immediately this much amount. Now, in one actual case, the CEO was actually in Dubai, okay, and the CFO was actually thinking to send money, but just before sending money, he just tried to check with somebody else, or I think he called the CEO, and then he came to know the email was not sent by him. So you can also Google this one. It's called business email compromise attack. It doesn't have to be the real, but you know, it's maybe there could be two scenarios. One is the actual email is compromised. Second is it was spoofed in such a good way that it was not checked, you know. Okay, now that spoofing part I will explain to you down, because this is a very this spoofing thing is still possible because of the protocol, and still a lot of people do that, and yeah, that is very tricky business. Spoofing is done to hide the real identity of attacker and is mostly used as a part of a phishing attack. Phishing, again, as I mentioned, phishing and spoofing is almost the same. Phishing occurs when the attacker sends a fraudulent email disguised as an authorized and trusted source. Intent is to get personal or financial information or trick the recipient into installing malware on his or her device. So spoofing, phishing, spear phishing, almost all are the same things. The whole idea is you think it is coming from somebody called A, but it is actually coming from somebody called B, and he wants to click you on some link or some URL to get so you can install some malware, and then he can take control, or he can infect you. Okay, this is Just note down these things. Hello name. Normally what happens in the spoofing, this is what happens. Hello name is different. Okay, mail from is different, and the from, the apply to, and the return class, they are spoofed. And user email can show the spoof from. No, maybe you will say, oh, what the hell, what is this? So we'll explain more. Spear phishing is highly targeted phishing attack. Same thing as there. Spear phishing could be more targeted. Like this could be like done after some work, like in this case, as I told you, the CEO was actually in Dubai. So yeah, if somebody knew that, then he will do that. He will get that information from some article, from some news or something. Let's say an international event is happening and everybody knows that this company CEO is there attending this event. So now the information is public. So based on that, some attacker can target his company CFO or somebody else in that company, and and try to reach out to him as CEO and ask him for all those things. It's quite possible. So the criminal, he researches the target interest before sending the email. So I think it's clear. But keep in mind, like even your LinkedIn profile can give a hint to people, like Facebook also. So for example, on your LinkedIn profile, you mentioned that, I handle the email gateway, or I handle Swift, or I handle this and that application. People can target you even based on that. They can think, okay, if I can compromise this guy, I can get valuable information about this solution, and then I can do some attack. In some real world scenarios, some organizations or the employees are hacked and then emails are sent from those organizations to their partner organization. This is very, very critical. For example, you think like one company, abc.com. Now this abc.com is a service provider for many organizations. Now if abc.com gets hacked, it means that attacker will use abc.com servers to send emails to all the other companies, all the clients. They will think it's coming from abc.com, which is their trusted partner, and they will open it, they will click it, and they will do whatever is required, because they are thinking it's coming from that company. So in such cases, the abc.com responsibility is to, first of all, protect itself. Secondly, it should inform all its clients immediately if something goes wrong. We have seen this happening in many parts of the world. So since there is in the same example, if it's coming from a trusted organization, then everybody will click, everybody will say, oh, maybe it's about that project, maybe it's about this project, let's open, what is this? And they will open it and they will work on it. Example for the email spoofing. If you just do a Google search on online email spoofing, you will see many URLs. One of them is MK. Okay, if you see here, this is a test. Now, if you look at what this is, I just put from the president and I sent to Gmail, and Gmail accepted it. Now here, if you see this question mark, here Gmail give you a warning that, I wasn't able to verify most of it. I wasn't able to verify full information, but still the email was delivered. And you can even say it is with the TLS also. And I sent this from MK. Okay, it was very, and actually I make 2 spoof emails. This is the first one. Second one, I made it even better, but it was so much better that Gmail got suspicious and that email did not come through. So maybe it was flagged because I even put a proper signature and all that, like a full address and all that. But anyways, the idea is to show you how spoofing is there. Now, if anybody, if you see this one, you will be like, you can have, Gmail can get it, you can get it anywhere. For email spoofing, for the inbound traffic, you have to configure the email gateway to check for the following. First of all, you can use local or global IP reputation list, okay, to block or defer at connection level. There's a term called RBL, or some companies they have. Now I think most these days things have evolved so much that every company they are having their own reputation servers. Symantec has their own, Cisco has their own, many others. They have their own list, so they are, because of they have a lot of customers worldwide, so they keep track and they have honeypots. So you can pick any of them. Trend Micro have their own list, so you can use those lists at the connection level at least. So the known attackers, known spammers, they will not be able to reach you. They will be rejected or they will be deferred. Deferred means delayed. So normally in a spammer attacker, when they are delayed, they don't like it and they move on to somebody else. That's the idea behind this. Also use DNS validation and reject connections from IP addresses which do not have reverse DNS record, like an IP connection do, and you go and do a reverse DNS and you say, oh, there's no DNS record for this one. So it could be like a he's not who he's saying, because a proper organization will have a proper DNS records. You can also reject connections where the reverse DNS record exists for the IP address, but there is no A record or tetra A record for the resulting domain. So it means, again, he may be somebody else and he's claiming to be somebody else. Okay. And again, you have to check the eHello, the domain name used in eHello or hello, is it real or fake? Okay. And then you can say like, okay, for example, if I use abc.com, immediately anybody can check, okay, there is no A record for abc.com. There is no MS record for abc.com. There is no tetra record for abc.com. So this is much easy to see. So using a fake domain will immediately get record. Okay. Now, normally the attackers are very smart. They're not using fake names now. They are using like they are doing it very smartly, but still such controls, it at least still help you to reduce a big number of bad emails. Also, reject messages from the domains which the mail from address has no A record or MX record or tetra A record. So again, as I said, abc.com, xyz.com, or somebody, or 111222333.com, anything like this, you can reject. Okay. Now, this is on the handshake level. Now, after handshake, some things you cannot check at handshake. Now, what you can do, you can just get the email, make a separate policy, make a configure spoofing checks, and see if there's a mismatch between the envelope sender and the from. Envelope sender is the one where you shows mail from, and then you have the from address. Now, again, if you are confused, what is this we're talking about, then you have to go and check my first session, because we have shown it very clearly there. So it's very easy. You can easily see that, and I actually have chapters available here for that video, and you can immediately see that chapter already, where I mentioned how to send an email using Telnet. Okay, or check at the top right corner, then I put the card here again for the session. Okay, now envelope sender is the address which is used at email handshake level, mail from. Next. Now, one point noted: most mailing lists, they use different envelope sender and from. There's a famous name called SendGrid. There are many others. They are used by many companies. So they always use like the envelope sender will be different and the from will be different. So those emails, they may be blocked by under spoofing. So you have to keep looking at that. Even many emails from the known vendors, when the password reset email and all, because they all use different services. So the domain doesn't exactly match. The mail from and the from doesn't match. So you have to check those, and then you have to make exceptions, and then otherwise they will be blocked as spoofing emails. But I think that will be a less number compared to the actual. If you let the spoof emails go through, that can cause you more harm. So you have to balance that thing. Now, one more important thing: DNS checks. What I mentioned about DNS validation at handshake level, it can impact system performance. So you need to find a good balance. Email impersonation. Now you may think, oh, this is maybe like spoofing. It can be, but it's a bit different. Email impersonation means when people send email to others claiming to be you. Okay. Now, abc.com, it's sending email to somebody.com, and as can say, no, we are xyz.com. So that is email impersonation. And it is happening out of your network. So you will have no idea. You don't have much control. However, there's a way with the updated, there is with the updated regulations and new protocols, there's a solution now. Impersonated emails can be prevented by adding trust to your outgoing emails. What you have to do, you cannot stop anything that's happening out of the network, but what you can do, you can add trust to your own outgoing emails. How? You have to use a combination of SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. Now, these three, we spoke a little bit about them in our first session. SPF is used where the company announces the public authorized IP addresses which are allowed to send emails. DKIM is a signing of the messages by the email gateway, and DMARC is actually a combination. It's a policy where you actually announce on the internet that this is my SPF, this is my DKIM key, and now if any emails come to you and the SPF doesn't match, SPF fails or the DKIM fails, you have full right to block that email, reject that email, or quarantine that email. So this was not very common a couple of years ago, but since last 2 to 3 years now, many people, many organizations, they have become matured enough and they have started using these combinations. Also, similarly, because since you are doing it for the outgoing, similarly for the incoming emails, you should also check for the SPF and the DMARC failures. Okay. So this, in the future slides, I may touch on this one more. And actually, you can Google something called DMARC 360. They have a YouTube channel also, and you will see very small videos about SPF and DMARC also there, and DKIM. This our second last slide for email DDoS attacks. Now, email DOS attacks means an attacker sends you so much email that your email servers are not able to handle the load, and it can crash. As a result, you should not be able to receive any legitimate business email. DOS attacks also happen to the websites also sometimes. A website is sent so many requests that the website crashes. So it can be done by email also. It's not very common, but it's quite possible. It can be used to cause business or the reputation loss, especially if the organization business is conducted by emails, or at least follow-ups are done by email. This can be. It's not, as I mentioned, it's not very common. We don't see much of these, but still a possibility. Like for example, even if I start sending an email, like for example, if I really in a bad mood and I start sending emails to an organization with very big attachments, like 10 MB attachment or 30 or 40 MB attachments, whatever maximum size they support. If I send them thousands of emails with the big attachments, what will happen? They will keep receiving it, and their server will be overloaded, and they will run out of space on the email gateway, and eventually they will stop receiving any other emails. So for any person with bad intent, a lot of bad things can be done. So, but yes, I haven't seen much cases. Okay, but yes, there's a possibility there. Such attacks. So, okay, this was my last slide actually, not second last. So what we can do, the attacks can be prevented by the following. What you can do. This is again, as I mentioned, now email gateways are very mature, very smart. So this lot of things are already there. What you can do, you can limit the number of maximum connections to be handled from your MTA. You can say, okay, I only get 5,000 or 100 or 200 connections. Depends again on the size of the organization. You can also limit number of connections per IP address. You can say from one IP only get this much connections, not more than that. So one IP cannot open unlimited connections. And you can also limit number of recipients for each email. You can, like one email should not go to more than 100 recipients or 550 recipients or 10 recipients or 20 recipients. Okay. Then again, you can also limit number of messages or the emails sent in one session. After that, the IP has to disconnect and connect again. You can define a queue size, and you can defer connections when the inbound queue is full. Also, you can use local or global IP reputation list. Local means you block IPs manually. Global means you are using IPs given by your any third party, like it could be Semantic, could be Trendminer, or whatever. You can use both, by the way. You can have a local list, you can have a global list, and you can use both. And you can say, okay, and depends again on how your setup is there. So that's all for now. Okay, I hope this is good, and inshallah, on the please leave comments in the leave your comments in the comment section, and let me know what if you need to have any specific topic in my next presentation, which will be again on email. That might be my last presentation on the email security. Okay, thank you guys. Take care and